Welcome to this week's collective reading. This is a big one this week. We have the sun moving into Aquarius and we already have Pluto sitting in Aquarius. So this conjunction is wild. It's very big for the collective energy. So I'm going to let you know how that is affecting the collective energy as well as the general energies. We're going to be using the Forecaster Oracle today to do the predictive energy for the week ahead on the world stage, and then also how it may affect you on a personal level. So let's just get straight into these readings today. So as I'm shuffling, and all three readings will be done with the Forecaster Oracle. You'll see the links for that on the product section or in my website, which is trishyjamesoracles.com. So as I'm shuffling to get the collective energy for the week ahead, we're going to be, I'll discuss what's going on with the astrology. So we have this week, and the placement, the conjunction will go all week this week. Now, Pluto is a big one. It's a powerful energy. It's an energy that is triggering the collective tower to do collective energy type stuff. So the collective, so the power of the people energy, the rebellion, the coming together. This is giving me vibes of what's going on in Iran right now. And I feel this could be really heating up this week. Now, it's not to say it's not going to happen anywhere else in the world this week, because it is Sun conjunct Pluto. Pluto is changes, transformation, a big burst of energy that comes in and says, I feel, or I need to make these changes. I feel I have to do something. So this energy of Pluto, it's not subtle. This energy of Pluto is powerful, and it wants to bring in the changes and transformations needed in the world right now, in the collective energy. Aquarius obviously is collective energy. It's all about the collective, the power of the people. So when these all come together, as well as Pluto, Venus, and Mars also conjuncting, it's a powerhouse of energy this week. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with other people. When it comes to explosive energy, we've got that Mars energy. Mars is conflicting energy, wars. It's ruled by Mars is the energy of warring energy. So we've got that conflicts, competition, warring energy already on the table in the mix of this conjunction. Mercury, also in the conjunction, represents speech. It represents learning, understanding, communication, social media. We have got social media on the table. So that's really highlighted or explosive this week. There is Venus. Venus wants to find harmony. It wants to find balance. It wants to find peace. It wants to find, now I'm hearing regime is what I'm actually hearing. I've got to tell you the words that are coming in from spirit as well. But I'm feeling the energy around Iran, I have to say, because shifting energy around regime. So it's got to be energies here with Iran this week that's going to play out very high. Now, we have got a system collapse, unsustainable. What is going on right now is unsustainable the way it is. Now, whether that means the people standing up and the regime has to feel like they want to do something about it, and I'm not saying this is not, it is. This is one part of it. but it's also a pushback from both sides. So it's energy, and not only that, it's the US getting involved also heightens this energy. Also, we've got a system collapse. It's the Tower card. Tower card, the Pluto is like the Tower card and the Death card combined. Tower card will come in and knock down any structures that are no longer sustainable, that no longer work for that collective energy or work for that system. And then it also represents death, which means change, transformation. So we've got this disruption, cognitive disruption. Disruption energy is Uranus. Uranus is currently retrograding in Taurus. So I won't talk about that today, but it is making its big move into Gemini. Gemini is also social media, it's communication. So you can see this heightened energy that's coming in. So over the next few weeks, especially when Uranus moves back into Gemini, where its home will be for the next 7 years, that's when we're really going to be feeling the energy around the collective, the social media, the communication. But for now, it's really about Pluto. Changes, transformation, system collapse, things not working, escalating energy. But social media is also very relevant. Now, I know Iran have had their internets cut, I believe, so we can't actually see what's going on, but there are some creators that are actually giving out some information about what's going on there. But we do see a shift in thinking, a cognitive disruption. Now, that's because Mercury's also in the mix there. Mercury rules an air sign, which is Gemini, and it is in there thinking about, it's a change of thinking. It's about thinking about, and I have to say personally, I'm going to read on Iran because it came up in the predictions for 2026, which means it's one of those Middle Eastern countries that's going to be facing big changes. Other big changes for this year will be the US, will be Canada, UK, the Middle East, which is Iran, and the other one was New Zealand. New Zealand, surprising. There was 5 countries that are going to be facing big changes this year. So I will be focusing on each one of those countries in coming readings. So censorship, silent speech on top of social media, like on the same spread as social media. So that's going to be really significant in the headlines. It's happening here right now in Australia. So it's very big. Where we're doing the anti-Semitism, hate speech. Now, this energy is all connected, and that's what the collective energy readings are all about. It says how one thing happening in one part of the world is influencing the collective energy and affects all other parts of the world. It then affects things that happen in the world on a world stage, and then it also affects how we're feeling with all that. So if we've got a lot of negative energy in the air, then we're going to be feeling that in a very difficult or challenging or struggling way for the week ahead. Now, this week, cards on the table, the challenging. We've got the Tower card. We've got the cognitive disruption. So it's about how we think about things. And that's what I'm saying. Iran, I didn't know. I was brainwashed by the media, believing that, they're the bad guys. But the thing with politicians, leaders, the people are not their leaders. And that is any country in the world. Doesn't matter who their rulers are, who their leaders are, who the prime ministers, who their presidents are. They do not represent the people. The people, the collective, is a different energy altogether. So it's about changing your thinking, which is what I've been doing, about the Iranian people are not their rulers. So I've been going through a bit of a cognitive disruption myself this week, just learning about Iran. But I feel it very heightened in the collective energy this week. I feel concerned because of the planet placements this week that are all happening. The sun moves into Aquarius, which is all about also outside of the box thinking for Aquarius. It's thinking about revolution, rebellion. That's what Aquarius represents. So we've got this sun energy moving into a very rebellious and revolutionary sign. So where it happens to be sitting with Pluto conjunct for the week, that's about changes, transformations, the tower falling, big shift. So, and then you can see this disruption. Disruption is normally a Uranus thing, but I feel like it's about changing the way we think about what's going on with the situation and the collective. So quite heightened energy in the collective this week. Justice, summoned accountability. Interesting. So this one here is indicating that there may be some kind of justice or accountability for actions when it could be leaders, it could be rulers, facing some kind of accountability. Maybe it's action being taken to the people that are being rebellious or revolutionary. So the people that are standing up could also be the social media justice. Now, this is going through our political system at the moment. The social media changes to the anti-Semitism, hate speech laws. They're working on those changes now, which affects the way we have to speak, especially as creators as well. We cannot be seen to be saying anything about a person or a ruler, a leader that would be deemed harassment, because that is illegal. Well, not right at the moment, but could be considered illegal in some of these policies they are pushing through. So you can see how that energy of this card, Justice Summoned, accountability, does relate to social media, but it also relates to how we have to shift the way we speak or communicate. And especially since we've got Mercury sitting conjunct with Pluto, changes and transformations to the way we communicate, the way we think. It's all connected. There's such a big week of power energy this week. And not to mention, Pluto also does represent willpower as well, people standing up in their power, their sovereignty as well. These things, clarity, that's a beautiful card. Beautiful. So I can take a breath with this card. So this energy on this one here for the collective this week is about really making sure you are able to balance, especially because it's sitting next to the scales, balance your own personal emotions this week, your energy levels around mental health, being either depression, being anxiety, being that feeling of this energy is just so big, what's happening, I feel like something to happen, that kind of energy. You have to work on it. You have to be able to and clear your head, whatever it takes, whether it's water or earth. You have to be able to clear your head from this energy that's in the collective this week. Now, this will be a big month. Next week, there is also some really big thing happening as we have Uranus moving back in or into its new sign of Gemini, which again, we'll talk about social media. We'll talk about the way we communicate, and it's also going to be aspecting the Pluto Sun energy. So next week will be big energy as well. But this week, it's all about, we could see accountabilities for action. We could be seeing systems starting to collapse or things that are not sustainable, changes and transformations within those systems. We could be thinking disruption, cognitive, we're having to control what goes on in our own mind on a personal, but this energy is also about learning about the system and the people, and understanding the people of different countries are not their leaders. So the Americans, the US, you are not Trump. The UK, you are not Starmer, his energy. So that's what I'm saying about Iran. They are not their regime or their leader or ruler. So we have to think about the power of energy of the collective and the people. So we've got to come back to the people here. And that's what this energy is saying. So we've also got some big things playing out in the collective energy around having to be careful what you say, careful how you think, with the shift in your communication, being the shifts and changes coming in with Pluto and Mercury conjunct. And then we have this silent speech censorship, which is taking place in Australia at the moment. UK, I believe, are also got their own things going on around those laws and censorship and social media as well. And then we have a system collapse. So Pluto sometimes will change a system because that's old, outdated belief system or system is not going to be compatible with energies, collective energies moving forward, the people's energies moving forward. So the planets are saying this is the beginning. It feels like it's the beginning. This sun in Aquarius, the sun conjunct Pluto. This is beginning energy. I know it's been heating up and escalating over the last couple of months, especially last month, but this feels like a beginning of big things happening in those areas, big things happening in social media, big things happening in censorship, big things and changes and transformations in leaders and rulers. So let's take a look at the world stage and what could be coming up predictably around the world. Okay, so the collective energy this week, we are seeing, biggest thing I saw first were these two cards here, These are both loss cards. They're passing cards. So we have a final echo, a loss or mourning can indicate a passing, especially since it's sitting next to the waning light or the end or closure. Now, it could also be talking about the final echo or the ending or closure of a chapter for a structure or a regime or party. So it's kind of energy around the ending. It's the final echo. That last sounds, it's like the death rattles when a system is coming to an end. So this is the energy also played out by these loss and mourning, endings, closures that's taking place. Sometimes that could be a burst of energy, a surge of energy, or a defensive attack, defensive demobilization or mobilization. Sorry, not demobilization, it's mobilization. So this energy here could be a system that's worried about collapse. We saw the Tower card, but we see it being worried about being in its final moments. Now, I couldn't imagine it had happened so quickly. Being this week, it would be over. I can't imagine it, but I feel like it's in its fear or worry about its end. Its bitter end is what I'm hearing. But we could be looking at a surge of defensive action that will take place because of their concerns that it's the end. Could also just be that we are having somebody prominent will be passing this week, predictably. Or closing a chapter, somebody ending, which means resignations as well. It's the ending. It's the the final. It could be the end of some kind of leadership. It feels more political than, say, celebrity because of the energy where it's sitting next to war action. It could be more information coming out about Venezuela this week. So it's a big week. Predictably, we've got the ending of a chapter or the ending of a person. Nation released about that. We've got the mobilization or defensive tactical. Okay, this is tactical, defense, army, military, I should say, not army. Military engaged in the ending of a system this week. Makes sense. It aligns to the collective energy that we saw in the planetary transits this week. Let's read all these cards together for the predictive energies around the world this week. We see the transiting planets this week are indicating structure and reform, overhaul or update outdated systems, or countries or leaders. So we see that happening in the astrology or the planetary transits because we have the sun entering into Aquarius, the collective sign, rebellion sign, the sign of the people. And then we have Pluto already sitting there conjunct, which is all about changes and transformations. So we've got this overhaul, changes, Tower card moment, structuring and trying to reform or restructure a country. Now, that will be done by military action, defensive or tactical maneuvers or tactical infiltration is what the infiltration is the word that that came through then. So tactical or defensive infiltration on a outdated or to restructure an outdated system. We have an ending coming, a closure, end of a chapter, retirement passing. Then we have military engagement or infiltration. We have surveillance state monitoring. Okay, surveillance state monitoring. We haven't seen a lot about what's actually going on in Iran, and I wonder if we're going to start to see certain footage coming out about what is actually going on there, especially since we have US in the area. I wonder if that means we're going to start to see a little bit more about what's actually going on there. But we also have strange weather patterns this week. And I think I covered everything. So a big week ahead collectively, a big week ahead predictively on the world stage. Let's see how we can best deal with these incoming energies on a personal level. Welcome to the personal predictions energies. This is how to best deal with the energy of the collective that's taking place over this week. So we might see extra solar energy as well. Now, this card is coming up because it's not coming up in the collective. It may not be from the sun. It may just be disruptive energy. So disruptions to the way you're thinking, disruptive energy. So sitting next to cognitive dissonance, it's about disruptions in the way you think. Disruption this week you could find that there may be disruptions to your plans, disruptions to your thoughts or your goals even. Energy feels to be scattered and chaotic because of the nature of the cards that we've seen. But they are saying you, on a personal level, control your own individual energy. So here it's saying make sure you can get clarity, harmony, and balance within your own mind. You are responsible for the way that you think, and you need to shift your thinking if you feel you are being weighed down by this collective kind of energy that's taking place at the moment. So, climate reckoning is also saying it could be Earth responding this week, but on a personal level, this is saying ground your energy in the earth if you have to. If you feel like you are scattered, if you feel like there's a lot chaotically going on in your mind, your brain fog, you can't think straight, you feel weighed down, you feel depressed, you feel anxious because of the energy in the collective, ground your energy is what this is saying. But it is saying that shifts and changes are coming, but you are responsible to shift your own energy if you feel that you're being weighed down by collective energy. You can disrupt those patterns by clearing your mind and grounding your energy. Saying that if you can focus on the positive things, think about moving forward, innovative ideas, coming up with thinking. It's an air sign, so it's all about thinking. So mentally, this is a great time for you to plan for the future because it's a very future ruled or forward thinking sign where the sun is sitting at the moment. So on a personal level, it's a great time for you to think about your future moving forward, thinking about changes, innovation, how you are going to adapt and learn about new technologies. We could be seeing genetic biotech as well, maybe affecting health for some people. So it could be future ideas around looking into new solutions for health. If you have issues around health, even if it's mental health, there may be some new solutions around that you can look into that you didn't even know were here. Then we have the other energy that I just saw then as I scanned over. It is the health with the DNA. For some of you, it's really about focusing on your health, your mental health, because these two are sitting together. This is a card about mental, and this is a card about health, so mental health. Grounding energy is going to be really important. Sun for some people, if you've got the sun in your area. We here in the southern hemisphere, we're in summer, so we have a lot of sun, and that's another great way to ground your energy or clear your head with the sun, which is what this could be indicating. White light, positive thinking, clarity of your mind. This means that your energy could be affected from the aftermath of the energy in the collective right now. But everybody, like I said, is responsible for their own individual energy. This is multi-source perspective, many viewpoints. Each individual person is responsible for their own energy. So you are responsible to do what it takes to get clarity and grounding or shift your way of thinking. Look after your mental health this week. And then we have diplomatic fallout, tension. So this could be some people, especially when I feel this card here, feels like this card here. So it could be causing some kind of tension, cloudiness, brain fog, sleeplessness could be another thing you could experience from this heightened collective energy. But really it's just coming back to your toolkit of what you do normally to balance yourself now. Responsible for your own thoughts, as hard as that feels. You have to take your power back there and get control of things and shift the way you're thinking. It's really important this week because of such the tension in the energy. It's really important to look after your mental health this week. I hope you have a beautiful week. Look after yourselves, and I'll be back again next week.